Hey everyone, I'm Danny K. Dank, and this is behind the scenes of Season 3 of Honk Your Horn, the first 5 episodes. On to the mid-season finale. Boy, a lot of work went into this one. Hence why it's 30 minutes. And we wanted it to be a little bit longer because it was a mid-season finale. Shout out to Brittany Warren. She helped me a lot in the first quarter, if not half of that episode. We went back to the spot where Dan and Vader broke down. That was not shot the same time that I shot the episode 4 ending. I mimicked it. I bet you didn't know. I did the best that I could to set it up the same way, and we just, I started in the same position. I tried to frame up or put the bags in the same spot, and then I did the whole, close up with the hands. Brittany helped me frame that up. I've done all the framing in this show. That's not me boasting, that's me going, holy crap, there's a lot of work put into this, because there's no one telling me, all right, you're out of frame, come a little closer, there's too much head space on top. I gotta do all that. So it's always nice when there actually is somebody there to tell me, or to be like, hey, you need to move this way or that way. In this instance, I had Brittany kind of she made sure that I was in frame for that close-up of my fist shaking, which is in my opinion, a very powerful shot in this episode. It's a shot of defeat / frustration / I can't give up yet. He gets up, he keeps walking. Again, these scenes, I think, destroyed my suitcase. I'm probably going to have to get a new suitcase, but I'm also due for a new suitcase anyways. Then Brittany, or Gloria, pulls up, backs up, and then says, hey, you need a ride. We did that on a live street, of course, with no permits or anything. We had a cop come by a couple times, well, different cops, and we got a weird look, and I was like, oh boy, are we about to get busted? I think we're about to get busted, but we didn't. The framing up of everything in that particular scene was crazy. Again, shout out to Brittany for being so patient. It's not perfect by any means, but it is what it is. It's not bad for a couple people working on it. I believe from there we shot the picnic scene, which was not fun because the phone kept overheating. A lot of background noises from people who were at this little park. The camera setup on me was so far back that my voice didn't quite get into the phone as much, so that was all ADR'd, and it was very hard to ADR because a lot of my scenes I'm stumbling on my words, or stuttering, I should say. How do you ADR stuttering? It's not easy. Brittany's turned out great, so I kept hers. Then we did the pizza stop. Then we did the conversation, which takes place beforehand, and it was nice because we're just kind of just driving and just freestyling a little bit. But also, I gave her some direction. This is the first time actually working with an actress on this show. And we didn't really have a script, but I knew certain points I wanted to hit, which is basically how I've done this entire show. She hit them well. Even the close-ups of her, close-ups of me, they looked good. They sounded good. Then we got to the pizza spot. That took a little bit. But that was fun. Vader got to use his force powers for once. For real. Then Dan and Vader get a car, and knowing that the camera picks up the background and stuff, I'm like, well, I gotta go to an actual CarMax to do this scene, which I did. And they pull out, Vader talks about Dan needing protection because of them splitting up. He was worried about him. So he's like, hey, why don't you grab a knife? But for some reason, Vader says you should get a knife from somebody on the street. That's just how wacky our show is, though. Then we come across Leo, who is played by Luke Zintek, who was a really good friend of mine. Great director. He just improv'd like crazy. He's so good at it. I'm so glad I picked him for this scene, for this character. And I basically just told them, you're just playing a goofy wannabe gangbanger, but one that wants to try. And he just took it to a whole other level. The first take that I did with him, where we're just looking at him, you could probably hear it here and there, but I just could not stop cracking up. The things that were coming out of his mouth. And the fact that me cracking up isn't even bothering him. There was a couple times where I'm like, I might need to cut because I just can't stop laughing. But I kept going. I let him keep going. And so, luckily the few times you can hear me kind of laugh in the scene, it sounds almost like a disbelief laugh. Like, is this guy serious? Like, seriously? But those are actual laughs from me. I was trying to hold it together.
Wait, you know Pablo?
Oh my god, dude, just...
Oh, dude. He was in the hospital, dude.
It was very hard. Luckily, by the time we did my takes, where you see my face, I had mostly gotten my giggles out. But man, I'm gonna have to do a whole video release of just his improv, because some of the, more than half the stuff didn't make the final cut. That's another part that was very difficult filming this show, was putting together both of our improv takes. And we had to take certain stuff that matched. And then the scene with him dumping out the bag and then going through everything in the bag. I mean, it was a lot of going back and forth between his takes and mine and trying to match it up, but it seemed to work. We filmed that scene probably 2 or 3 days before the release. The 2 scenes after Dan leaves Leo, runs away from Leo, those were shot less than 12 hours from the time I'm supposed to release the episode. Talk about cutting it close. It's a little scary. You know that you can get it done, but whatever you get is what you get. There's no going back. You got a deadline to fulfill. We're filming this hours before it's released. And then the shot of them looking at Los Angeles. I had a spot picked out from when I was working on another show. I was a little bit further south than where I was in the actual shot. And I thought, oh, this would be great for the mid-season finale. Well, I went back to that spot that day to go film it, and I'm like, this is ugly. There's all these phone lines and telephone poles that really block out the city. I need to find a new spot. Oh, and the sun's going down. Run and gun, baby. Run and gun. But I got it. And the sunset scene looking on the city wasn't glorious. It's definitely not what I wanted. I would have probably done it again if I had more time. However, it is also the perfect shot in the sense that anyone that's from Los Angeles knows of smog. And that's kind of the look that you get at the end there. Slash, like, the whole feel of Los Angeles. It's a very gritty, greedy, like kind of a dark place in a way. So it was meant to be. So now I've talked all about these first 5 episodes of Honk Your Horn. And now I'm going to turn to the audience and say thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this passed the time a little bit before the new episodes. Speaking of new episodes, I'm going to show you right now, exclusively in this behind the scenes series, the first shot of the second half. First shot of episode 6. Check it out. Oh, hey, Vader. Yeah, I know. That's it. That's the first shot. You're going to have to wait until January 25th to see the rest of the episode. Thank you for tuning in to the behind the scenes of the first 5 episodes of season 3 of Honk Your Horn. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you get a better idea of how difficult and crazy it was filming this. And believe me, you do not want to miss these next 5 episodes. See you then.